Welcome back. Welcome back. This is your boy Big Coins with Black Lion Kings. This is going to be a quick video. This is for the day traders and the scalpers. Um, we're going to have a we already have a very slow weekend, considering the volume from the institutionals is slowing down while they're waiting for the Bitcoin ETF to happen. They're lining up, they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's before that possibly happens next week. January 3rd at the earliest, we should be hearing some news, or January 2nd. So slow down on volume, but so retail is going to take over on the weekends. It's our turn to trade. If you watched my last video, I showed you this range of Bitcoin and the fractal that's happening here. Again, we're going to try to keep this to 5 to 7 minutes. I have Bitcoin, then I have a special bonus for you, showing you a nice little scalp trade I'm taking on a coin that's been running. I mentioned in my group months ago that it needed to hit $1 billion, and it's halfway there. Anyways, this one, Bitcoin, we have 3 touches going on the top. We have 3 touches on the bottom. Some people say this is a symmetrical triangle, bull flag type of action going on here. Some sort, however you want to see it. We're accumulating at the top. Ultimately, we're expecting a move. We're expecting to move up between 48K and 52K. Short term, I haven't told anybody this, but short term, I'm seeing 46K before we come back and retest, and then go back up, retest this as support, and then bounce back up to 48 to 50K. ETF news might push us a little bit higher, but that's another video for another day. On the local, oh, sorry, the fractal is still in play. We got our third tap here. The expectation is that we accumulate here and bounce up as we did on the number 2 touch on this support level. All right, so then we zoom in and I'll show you a little bit more of what's going on. What are we at? 2 minutes. All right, going pretty well. So we zoom into the current price action happening here. And I marked out what's happening in the short term. We have somewhat of a falling column happening. Price action is trying to stay above the moving average lines, the squiggly lines. We're also getting pressure to the downside. We're getting a bunch of lower lows. Don't mind these yet. Lower low, higher low. We're getting a bunch of lower lows. But ultimately, we want to see price action. I'm going to bring up Market Cipher. We want to see price action do something like this to create a higher low, inverse head and shoulders for some people. We'll extend this out, I guess, because I guess we could get a lower touch here and still have a higher low on the oscillator, right? We could still come down to here, even if this ends up, touching somewhere here at $42,030, or even here. And it could shake a lot of people out thinking we're going lower before we bounce up higher. So I'm expecting a move down somewhere around 42K, maybe even a little bit under 42K on the local level. We're also trying to keep above this range here. We're trying to stay within this range. Yeah, we had the wick down here. If we do touch down here, zooming back out, we may get our unintended fourth touch that we don't want. Market Cipher showing a little red in the money flow. It's hard to tell with the yellow VWAP just yet, but again, we still want to see, even on the higher, on the 4-hour higher time frames, we still want to see a higher low on the oscillator. Okay, we still want to see something going, something right here. Even if we do get a fourth touch, we want to see that go up. That's pretty much it for Bitcoin. But the bonus, what I'm playing right now, it's it's moving up regardless of if Bitcoin's going down or not. TRB is another Oracle token, and I mentioned it in my group months ago. I didn't stick with it. There's a lot of volatility with the funding rates for futures traders, perpetuals traders. That was throwing me off personally. But I will mark this. I will give you what I have here, using the Fibonacci's. mark out the bottom of the last structure. This is a fractal structure that's happening here, and the same thing is happening from here to here. All right. So, I mean, I guess we'll just reset the chart so we get a better view. All right, so we start 0 at the bottom. We started at $41, and then we mark out the top of the last move, which gives us our range, and that's around $64, $65. And then you can see the Fibonacci levels hit perfectly at the 1618, and then we got a big pullback. And then this is on the daily chart. And then over the next several days, over the next week and a half or so, we got to move up to the 3.0 area, probably 3.23 if you want to mark out the wick. And then we had a small little accumulation before we had continuation over the next week and a half after that, and we're able to mark out the 4.382 as the top of this move here. I mean, probably lowered a little bit. All right, so then we take the same price action, we take the same action over here with the current structure, very same structure. It's called a fractal because it happens multiple times. Happened somewhere down here, happened from here to here, and it happened from here to here. So we're expecting the same type of thing to happen with this structure from this top to this bottom. Mark out the bottom with the 0, mark out the top with the 1 somewhere around $143. And locally, this is for scalpers and traders again. Locally, we can expect a move to 3.0 like we did here for the next, it looks like the next few days. We can get a tap to 285. So I'm taking profit on this scalp around, I always take it under around 282, 283. We could accumulate here, pull back one more time, go back up, pull back, accumulate one more time, and then ultimately we hit 4.382 or a little bit lower. So probably expect somewhere around 370 just to play it safe before we get a nice little pullback. We're at 7 minutes, almost done. Before we get a nice little pullback to, let's mark this out, call that the bottom. We'll flip this around, style, reverse, and then we got a nice little pullback to almost to the 618 area. Let's delete that. All right, we got a pullback to the 618 area before we continued up. All right, so what was that? We went from 143 to 67 or so. All right, so we got more than a 50% pullback. So if we're going to mark out the, almost done, this is important information. Let's just, all right, we already talked about where it's going to go. It's obviously not going to go straight up. If we go somewhere here, and then we go down to the 618, we're talking 100 from 300. Let's figure this out. Sorry, top is going to be here. Okay, then we got to flip it. Got to flip this one, flip it and reverse it. And we go to the 618. We're talking to drop back down to 184. So that'd be a very juicy move up and then a nice little move down. Let's mark it out, how long that took. Okay, from here to here, took 25 days. So if we do that, we mark out where we went to on the 1618. Okay, 1618, mark it out. We're talking somewhere around January 23rd. That's if it doesn't get pulled back by the market and all the Bitcoin ETF news. So we'll see. So we'll keep that level as we'll mark out that level for the future. All right. So that's the video. Let's see. All right, almost, come on, pop up. Okay, that's the video. Hope that helped. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks.